Unahaganasinga, Zanapichu, Navamia Dachinam. Welcome back, everyone, to Rising Warriors Rachael Kulei. I am Navimia Dachinam, woman that travels with the stars. And today I have Wayne back with us, and we are going to be continuing from our last segment of the Star Nation people. So we are welcome back to part two. And as we like to do before we get started, we're going to start with a prayer. And I asked brother over here to start us off with a prayer before we get started.
Beautiful.
Go ahead.
Well, thank you so much. Yes, thank you. It's an honor again to be here. Starting to feel like a regular here, so
Yes.
feeling pretty good about that. Starting to feel like family. So
Yep. Welcome.
yes. So my name is Cunny Poet Makwa Standing Bear. Come from the Fishing Lake First Nation, Saskatchewan, Canada, Saulteaux tribe, Nakaway people, and Treaty 4 territory. So up there, and let's set that intention. It's really important that we start off in prayer. We start off in a good way. Start off with that beautiful guidance and direction, which we can get no other way but with prayer. So let's turn it up. Creator, Great Spirit, Kitchimanitou, Megwitz, thank you for his honor me. I love you. We love you. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this moment. Thank you for this circle. Thank you for this. Thank you for this time here. This time in this beautiful circle. Thank you for the sacred things that we will be talking about. Thank you for the guidance from our elders and our ancestors. We come here. We mean no harm in what we do. We come here in a good way. We come here to learn to listen in a sacred way, to walk a bit, to sit in a good way, and to honor those that have come before us, and to listen to their wisdom, listen to their guidance, listen to their love, listen to their message. So we can come here and we can learn and we can carry their love, their message to the next 7 generations. We do this for the people. We do this to celebrate the people, to celebrate life, to celebrate all life. Oh, thank you. Beautiful. All right. Good one. So, all right. Like that.
That was a strong one.
Okay.
Star people. As I dropped all my stones over here.
So yeah, you want to start us off here?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so last time, if you didn't get to watch the last segment, we were talking a little bit more about the introduction, and we did a build-up going into the Star people, and kind of did a little bit of background of like a history, and bringing a little bit of science, and even a little bit of religion in a sense into that. And so we're in this place now where Wayne and I both came together, and there's topics that are coming up that are now presenting themselves from creator and from ancestors, that things are time to be talked about, and brought another awareness, and to bring back our old teachings in the new way. And so we were kind of just talking about this a little bit ago, is like how we actually want to do another segment on this too, real quick, is talking about how we've lost our teachings. Many of us have lost teachings, but some of us still have it. But at the same time, like one of my elders that brought me into the bear ceremony, Grandma Agnes Pilgrim, she told me that you have to be in a spiritual place constantly, and that even though, like, I'm going to say, I'm also a sun dancer. So in the sun dance, you're in this place, and you're in a spiritual circle for 4 days, fasting, no water, no food. And when you're in there, you're going back and forth and you're staying on your path, and there's a pole in the center of it, but you're going in your own path. And if you were to actually look up from the aerial view from the sky, you would actually see the sun dance aligned with the stars in the sky. So that's the thing with ceremony, is that a lot of these ceremonies that we have traditionally, they are in line with the stars, and they, there's that connection with the stars. That stars, is bringing those ancestors, and also other star people to that place where you can meet them in a spiritual realm, so that you can actually hear them and speak with them and learn from them. So that's, it's important to open your mind to the star nation and to the star people, and that ancestors, they are in the stars. I was told that when our ancestors pass, they become the stars. They're in the stars. They're constantly watching over us and looking down on us. So you're never alone. So my grandmother, Grandma Agnes, she told me that in the bear ceremony, that to stay focused like you're in life, you got to stay focused like you're in that Sundance ceremony. And even if you're not a sun dancer, you can still apply this to your life in staying focused on your path. And going back to the aerial view of the sun dance, if you were to look down after the ceremony's over, it would actually look like a wheel with a spindle. So then now you're looking at the medicine wheel. And so you're looking at this individual medicine wheel and all of these spindles that each person holds their place in that circle. So if you want to take that to another perspective, is that if you have a wheel, if you're just one spindle and we're all with Creator, then it takes a lot of us to stay strong to keep that circle strong. And if one of us falls and breaks, then that like what happens in a bicycle wheel, it becomes out of tune, and then it becomes wobbly and wonky, and then the balance is thrown off. So what you have to do is, when you're in that place, is it's easy in life to look around and focus on what other people are doing. But the moment that you do that, when you're in that ceremony, you start taking on that person's path and their traumas, and you're now no longer on your own path. And so when you're going through life, it's staying focused on the Creator, and it's staying focused on your path. And we're human, so we may waver and we may fall, but staying focused and getting back onto that. And when you can be in this place, then it allows you to open up spiritually so that you can hear. And what Grandma was telling me is that when you get to that space, that's when you're going to hear your ancestors talk. That's when you're going to hear the old teachings come. That's when you're going to hear the star nations come, and they'll speak to you. That's when you're going to hear the songs, the old songs that were lost. They're going to come and speak to you in the wind. And so we were speaking about this earlier, because Wayne was speaking with another relative about this morning. And so I just wanted to speak on this, because before we get started, because it's important that in the times that we're in now, that we're respectful to other people's traditions and our perspectives and things, but also to when you're learning from others and you're trying to reconnect back to your roots, that you make sure that you're listening to your spirit. And sometimes there may be a teaching that may not align with you, and that's okay. That's not for you, but you honor that and you say, what, thank you for that teaching, but this isn't for me. And you honor what your spirit's telling you and guiding you, so that you get guided to the right people and direction on that path. And so then that's where, it opens up a whole nother level of that spiritual connection, and really being able to be in tune, so that you can hear, so that you can be connected with the star nation, so you can be connected with your ancestors and with Creator. So that's kind of like where I wanted to start on there. So go ahead. What do you have?
Okay.
Go on
Okay. There's a lot there. I didn't talk
I
to
know.
comment.
I see your brain going.
I can think in our fourth hour, Rachel, we will cover.
Yes.
So, I mean, I don't know where to start with Rachel. So we're just going to, there's a common thread that runs through all life. And as we are all related, it's a traditional indigenous philosophy that we are related to all life. And I think as humans, we really kind of think of in terms of just our human experience and what we see. Not necessarily what really is. I think our ancestors really hit it on the head, when they say that. And it's true that we are all related. And it's not just two-legged, it's the four-legged, the standing people, the winged people, the fish people, even the fire nations, even the rocks. They have their sentinel beings. They may not say anything in the physical world, but they say a lot in the spiritual world, Mm-hmm. So let's kind of I don't know where to begin. So we're all related. So this would be, let me draw a picture here. So hold on, let me
go back to your notes.
Picture time. So
pictures.
Okay. So this would be us right here. This little dot in the center. That would be us. That would be Earth right there.
Right.
But there's a lot of and we really think that all life is right here, but really there's so much more out here. There's different stars, different Milky Ways, and so the larger picture, the deeper teaching is that we are also related to the stars also. And it's not really something the colonial world, the Western world, they call it science, they call it astronomy, they call it all this other things, but really it's something that we, I think, as a culture and as humanity, really have to kind of get a grip on now and really start understanding that we are people of Earth, and we are related to all those solar systems and all those star nations that are out there. You listen to. I've been really honored that I've gotten to listen to a lot of different elders from a lot of different directions and hearing a lot of beautiful teachings. And I can remember, maybe it was a Hopi elder. I forget his name. I don't want to say it if it's not correct. So we'll just say another elder from another direction. Uh-huh. Out there, and he was talking about Turtle Island, and it's like, well, how do we know? How do we know it's like shaped like a turtle island? Well, because we came from the stars, and as we were coming down, the shape of North America, the tip of Florida, the Baja California, and up through the Pacific Northwest and up through Canada, it really looked like a turtle. So that's really so. That's how we know, because we came from up there. We looked down and said, "Oh, wow, that looks like a turtle down there." Yeah, it looks like a turtle down there as we're kind of flying through, So that's an indication that we're from the stars. So we are star seeds. We are there's at the center of us. We are made of that stardust. Mm-hmm. Even in the seen and the unseen, that fire, the original fire, my people talk about the original fire at the center of the universe. We have a piece of that fire, and that's how life begins inside the womb, because women have that sacred intersection between the seen and the unseen, the physical and the spiritual, so they're able to bring that life and bring that energy in, and they're able to bring that spark of life from the very center of the universe. It just doesn't appear, it comes, and it comes from the center of the universe. So
Actually, I can talk on that one too, real quick. Is even further connection. So, some of you know, but I back in 2015, I was pregnant with triplets, and I miscarried them at 4 months. But during that time of carrying them, the connection with them was out of this world. I could feel them with me. I could hear them constantly. And so one thing I want to talk on real quick too is that because you opened that door, is that when you are mothers and you are carrying these children, everything you do, you think, you feel, you eat, they are absorbing it and they hear you. And just because you sit there, you think that they're not physically here with you, they are spiritually here present with you. And the moment that their spirit was connected into your womb and their body was started to create, they are with you spiritually. And I can testify for that, because there isn't one time that I did not feel my children with me. And so I constantly I had to be careful. I'm like, it made me be even more on my toes and be like, okay, I got to be careful of my walk. They're watching me. Even though they're not physically here, they're watching me, they're hearing. And then things would happen, and I would sit there and I would explain to them, this is why that person did this. This is why this person behaved this way. I would teach them so that they would understand, that they still are present. They're still here. They're still with us.
Right.
Even though you can't like physically see them, they're with you. And I bore witness to that and that teaching. And so it's, when we are born, and we can go further into this later, but that's when we can be born with all these traumas and ancestral things. So, it's very important when you're that womb carrier, that's a sacred space. That 9 months that you're carrying that child is very sacred. And that child is absorbing and learning whatever you are teaching that child. And so you are actually raising that child for the first 9 months before they have even come here to this earth. So you're already spiritually training and raising that star child. So it goes deeper than that. It's like people don't realize that, or even when babies are born, they forget, they don't know, they don't understand what's going on. They don't talk, they don't hear yet. No, yes, they do. They understand on an intellectual level. And I can speak from that level, because when I was born, my mom and I, we had intellectual conversations. We would sit there and I would look at her in her eyes, and we would have conversations. And she could tell you still to this day, she remembers hearing me loud and clear, telepathically in her mind, having conversations with her. And my dad would look at us and be like, "What are you guys doing?" And she's like, "She's talking to me." And he's like, "What?" And he goes, "No, I can hear everything she's saying to me." And I would be talking to my mom until finally the words actually were able to like establish and come out of my mouth. But I understood everything that, my mom was saying. I still remember things from when she was pregnant with me and teaching me and talking, with me. So I remember being in the spiritual realm of that connection of hearing my mom and seeing my mom and watching over my mom while she's going about life, and my dad. But it was more with my mom, because that connection was with her, that cord is with her. And so it was interesting that, to me, I can still remember that. So it's important with these babies and these little warriors that are coming into this earth, that you're extremely patient and loving with them. And that, these babies that are coming here, the veil isn't for them. I was told that the veil isn't there anymore. Like the veil wasn't put over them. There isn't enough time here on this earth now for them to forget. So
Right,
now you have these ancient souls that are being born on this earth, and it's up to us to lead them and guide them and teach them and raise them in this new but old way.
right.
Yeah.
Beautiful. It's. I mean, this conversation can go a million directions. It's just kind of like we're trying to see what's out there. We can go on a long time about this. I kind of have a question here that I kind of want to address. It's really important, but again, but you touched on something really beautiful about we're coming into a new age. They call it the age of Aquarius. Like the age of fire. It goes by many names, but really it's a transformation of humanity. Whether we call it the age of fire, the fifth world, the sixth world, whatever it is, or the age of Aquarius, where there's like a new awakening. And I think that's what you were really kind of to kind of talk about where these star beings that are being born here, they look like us now, and they carry with them really sacred and beautiful knowledge that we have really kind of forgotten. So we're really kind of looking at our young ones now, and they already know type thing. They already know. And, we're going back to that conversation about relearning, those old ways, because in the very recent past, the old ways here on Turtle Island, North America, when the invaders came over, they slaughtered us. They slaughtered a lot of the elders, and there's a lot of talk about, when will the old ways, come back and everything, and how do we, connect to those old ways again. Well, there's a member grandfather teaching, and we spoke about this last week. I thought it was on last week, by the way. I totally forgot. So I'm talking, it's on the grandfather Tony. It was Monday and Tuesday. And he was talking about their spiritual breath. We get that, right? Their spiritual breath, but there's also spiritual breath, during the day, and part of that teaching, I couldn't quite remember what he was saying, but at night there's information that kind of downloads, so we kind of breathe in at night, and then during the day, we breathe out. And really the idea is to take those teachings, those downloads, those memories in at night, and they look like dreams. They look like they're literally, you want to use colonial terms, downloaded. We're downloaded, kind of download. I was talking information. Yes, information.
They said download information.
Download information. They said I was talking to your friend. We were out in Jacksonville, I guess a couple months ago, maybe 6 months ago, and he was talking about the ringing in his ears, and that's how he knows that some information is really downloading, because that's the way he he perceives it. I mean, it could just be tinnitus, but it could be,
right? I mean, that's a whole nother conversation about that. We could go into. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna write that one down.
So really, and we're talking to Denise Miller earlier, and we were talking about and Rachel earlier about about all that wisdom, all that guidance, all that love, all those teachings, those ancient teachings, they are still, as we just said, in the wind. They are in the water, and slowly, like over time, in this new age, this great awakening that we're at the very, very tip of the spirit.
Those songs. But those real quick, those songs, they also come with those babies, because every time, so my niece real quick and my nephew, they're little, and the moment that they were born, and there's new songs that always come that I start hearing and singing. They're old songs to sing to them. So that I just wanted to say that real quick. Yeah.
Right. There's new, and what we're really talking about here is new and beautiful ways to connect. That's really what we're trying to do here. And really now we're really at the cusp of really connecting and understanding that we are part of, the star, the star nations. I've been kind of saying it all week. If you don't think we're star people, we are a rock flying through space right now. We're going at like 400. We're going at like 400,000 kilometers.
We're aliens ourselves, you guys.
We are aliens. We're our own aliens.
Exactly.
Some of us had dated those people, so we know. What the hell is wrong with her?
I'm like, that's
what the hell's wrong with this guy? So yes, we probably dated a few aliens.
Yeah.
I was just kind of like, but really, again, okay, to throw numbers at me. All right. Let's just kind of step back a little bit, and there's some naysayers out there that we are like the only, we're like at the apex of, universal knowledge. And I would just say, I don't know. I would have to, Leonard Crowdell would say, I have my doubts. What a beautiful saying. And he just doesn't agree. He just says, I have my doubts. And it's one of those beautiful teachings I got from him. But let's just touch on these numbers real quick.
Yeah.
The universe is 3.8 billion years old. I doubt we're the latest. I doubt we're the first ones. I think we're kind of like the latecomers to the party kind of thing. And let's just take a look at Earth. It's 4.5 billion years old. So I don't think we're the first ones on this planet either. I think we're just the latest in the wave of life that to be here type thing. So let's that's kind of put that into a little bit of a perspective, because it's just. There's a lot of other life out there that came, a lot of ancestors beyond the beyond, as Denise would say. But we're talking about the ancestral, have become billions of years ago. That ancient life that is out there. We are in some strange and beautiful way. We are a part of them, and they are part of us, just the way that we are part of that all that beauty right outside that door, outside that window. We are part of that. They are a part of us too, and that goes into seen and unseen realms, and obviously goes into the physical realms, which is like physically like outer space, not just our current personal space, but really kind of outer space. And it's really time again that we really start having that conversation that there's other things out there. There's other life forms out there type thing. I think a couple hundred years from now, I think we'll really kind of because we're on the slow bus as far as like spirituality goes. It was only a couple hundred years ago that we thought the sun went around the earth and it was flat earth. A couple hundred years ago, you were considered a heathen and a heretic if you believed that.
Right.
And now we're like, how could we be?
Like, what is happening?
Yeah. What do you mean it's not flat?
Right?
We go around the earth type thing.
Everything doesn't revolve around us.
I mean that, like, if there's a definition for humanity, that's it. Everything revolves around us type thing.
That's interesting, isn't it?
It's really we are we are like spiritual Neanderthals when it comes to this. We really are. It's just like well, it's flat, and obviously everything revolves around us type thing. And I think it was like Galileo, or I probably butchered that too. I'm sorry. I get many messages. They always do correcting me. Oh no, it was some Greek astronomer, something like that.
That's okay.
Probably was a Greek astronomer.
Correct
Please correct me. I'm okay with that, man. I'm okay. I love you.
Exactly. If you're strong enough to correct, then I will. It's like, I'll listen. Like, tell me, hey Rachel, no, that's not right. Okay, thank you. Okay. I'll correct that. I will be humble.
So yeah, it's just kind of getting out to that, we are in like spiritual, kind of like spiritual, like kindergarten right now. And the rest of the universe is has like 4,000 PhDs type thing. We're just like not even in the realm of even understanding really what's out there yet. But we know, I think we're ready as a species to know that there's something more out there. In fact, the medicine wheel elders said that there is, let alone let alone the contact, which our elders said that we've had, contact since the very beginning of, having elders, they would have, contact. It wasn't the first contact or next contact. And, but there's physical, spiritual, seen and unseen contact, I think, with all those realms and, all those other sentinel beings, that are out there. And it's really,
and there's good and bad.
It's what we do here on Earth. Those we have kind of like a triangle type thing, and we're up here, and then all other life down here. Well, we're just destroying Earth too. So the invaders and the population doesn't do well. When there's a higher, we consider a higher life form. The lower life forms never really do well, and so we're kind of wondering if we're like those lower life forms. Right? I think we can end that conversation right here and just say that hey, we're pretty much assuring and safety that we are not the highest life form, out there, and
you just brought up a bunch of memories I'm having. I'm like having flashbacks of encounters with different intellectual outside life, both good experience and both bad experience, and that's there's that's the thing, is like there's a yin and yang, and I always say that if there's one over here, there's something over here that's got to be in balance with it, in a sense.
Right. And that's a beautiful thing, and let's talk about this for a minute. Let's talk about, our ancestors really understood about that flow, that harmony and balance. They call it the ancient sacred agreements, beginning with harmony and balance and really understanding that flow. And they understood that everything, like everything around us had a natural flow too, like the seasons, the day, the cycle of the day, the lunar cycle, the tides, like there's a natural flow there, right? And they understood that they are part of, that natural flow too. And they also understood that natural flow didn't stop here on Earth either. The natural flow really came from, the center of the universe, really kind of with that first fire way in the center of the universe. It's, we are part of, the natural flow, that natural rhythm, that everything is energy. I think, and I butchered this too, Nikola Tesla, I think, said that everything is energy or light or something like that. Well, that's actually something that's really not a philosophy. That's really like an ancient belief that our ancestors really, really understood, because there was, because we're talking about listening earlier, and really about listening to the unseen flow type thing, and that's really where the power is. It's not really in the physical power, like a rainstorm, the physical power, right? The flow of the river is really seen power, but really the unseen powers, those are the ones that really carry that love, that really carry that messages, really carry those teachings, and it really carries, energetically, that flow that we really need to start adhering to, because we are going against the flow. We would not be destroying the Earth if we were like living on that flow, but certain corporations want a good quarterly report, so so they take without asking, without asking, and take it without offering, and so and that trickles down to what is happening to to humanity, and really it's just painting a really clear picture about where we are, but it's also painting a real picture about where we really need to be, kind of recentering. And this is a perfect conversation for that. It's just kind of like the larger picture of besides quarterly reports. It's just really, hey, look, man, we got to really be part of this big beautiful, powerful, natural flow, the rhythm of life that doesn't stop, at what it's called 42,000 feet, whatever they say, that limit is here on Earth, when it's supposed to be like outer space type thing, that flow, we're just part of that flow too. So.
You're just reminding me of that Sundance circle again, and that medicine wheel, and that flow, and that, it's just, if everyone could just imagine this real quick, imagine there's a pole in the center, and you're standing in this circle, and you have all of these people standing around, and you're your brothers and your sisters, and you're standing in prayer, and you're trying to move forward as a collective in your path and your calling. And all of a sudden you see this line, and it's almost like when you're in the Sundance, it's actually, there's a water line that runs right underneath you to that pole, and it's an energetic water line, and then it goes up into the stars. And if everyone were to stay focused and to, again, put the blinders on and stay focused on your path, your alignment, what your calling is, what ancestors are wanting you to do, what creators wanting you to do, and you put those blinders on and you stay focused, you can get your mission done. But it's the moment that you take the blinders off and you start looking at, oh, what's this person doing over here? Or, oh, what's this person doing over here? Or, oh, what's that over there? You get distracted, and before you know it, you fall off your path. And you're no longer on your path anymore. You're on someone else's path. And then that's where that flow that you were just talking about is like you end up going on someone else's current, and then you don't even know how you got there, and you're trying to backtrack, and you're like go through these anxieties and these panic attacks, and you end up drowning yourself in a sense, instead of just letting go. And when you get to those places, you have to learn to surrender. And, if you're in that river, if you go against that current and you start fighting against that current, you're going to get taken for the whirlwinds. You're going to get smacked in the rocks. You're going to, you could drown. You could end up killing yourself. But if you relax your body, and even though it's scary in those moments and times, but you can relax your body and you just stay focused and you stay in that prayerful mind and that prayerful heart, you'll make it through that wave, and you'll make it through those currents in life. And in those places, that's where learning can happen. And that's, if, like you were just saying, it's the elder's point of view, and, the eagle point of view. I've been talking about this week on some of my posts, is taking that eagle perspective, that higher perspective, and looking back and looking at everything that's going on around you, and not reacting with emotion. And if you can pull yourself back in those storms and those things, then you can actually see a bigger perspective of what's going on. Then that's where that learning can happen. And then you can start seeing and observing, all these different things that can teach you, and help you grow and go forward. And so then when that next current comes, you're not going to be resistant to it. You're just going to relax, and you're going to go with that flow and with that ease. And you're going to go, okay, here comes another lesson. And I always used to say to myself too, because being a good person, I was like, why are all these bad things always happening to me? And what am I doing? But it was the moment that it was an ancestor that came to me, and it said, flip your mind around. It's not all these things are happening to you, and why are all these things happening to you? It's, what are the lessons that are being taught to you? Start looking at the lessons. What's the lesson?
What's it doing for you? Right.
Exactly. And now I look back, and if I hadn't gone through those trials and those things, I wouldn't be talking to you. I wouldn't have knowledge. I wouldn't have understanding. I wouldn't have a higher perspective of knowledge. I wouldn't have an open mind. So, it really, helps being able to just
Right.
stay focused. Stay focused. Put your
Right.
blinders on, but also don't put them on so tight that you're not aware of your surroundings, because you want to be aware of your surroundings. You want to know what's going on around you, but you don't want to overwhelm yourself and like succumb yourself and like dive yourself into it and overwhelm yourself with everything that's going on. It's just you recognize it and go, oh, okay, you're over there. So, okay, so now I'm aware you're there, so I can do this. And now I know how to take my prayers in my daily walk. And, constantly every day, you have to be working in that spiritual path of staying in a constant prayer in your heart. It's if you want to be able to get to this place of being able to hear the wind, hear your ancestors talk, hear the songs, you have to every day stay in the spiritual place in your heart and staying focused. What does Creator want me to do today? Even if you do posts and things, if you have something inspirational that comes to your mind and then all of a sudden you get fearful because you don't know if anybody's going to listen to you or backlash, you got to step outside of that fear and know that, what, maybe if you didn't send that message, you could have saved one person's life that day, or you could have helped that one person that just needed to hear that message. And it would have been you that could have done it, not me, not Wayne or anyone else. It would have been only you that could have touched that person's life. And so when you can be in that place, it allows you to, so that you can spiritually be in tune to your brothers and your sisters, so that you can help and you can go, oh, all of a sudden, like, I thought of you the other day, and it was like, oh, okay, what's going on? Oh, okay, send some prayers for him. One of my veterans the other day, I could feel something was going on, and I reached out to him, and he reached back. Yes, I do need prayers. I do need this. And then, he ended up losing his daughter this morning. And so it's like, if I hadn't reached out to him, maybe he wouldn't have had that support, and knowing that somebody was there listening to him spiritually and supported him, because as a veteran, it's hard for them to come and say, hey, I need help. But if you spiritually are in tune and you can go and be in tune with that person and hear the wind say, hey, go check on your relative, then, you're the one they're coming to say, hey, go be with that person, go, put that space for that person and hold that space for that, your relative in that moment of time. And then that's when you can be in another part of that prayer circle. Even though we're not all together, we're still energetically in that prayer circle together. And so I wanted to touch on that, because the Sundance, it connects with the stars, and it's aligned with that stars, and that whole, it represents that portal, that connection that goes straight up to the Creator, so that your prayers are heard directly. And so it's that, and when you pray and you're asking these things, it's like that cording that we were talking about last time, when we all have our own silver cord that we're connected to. We all have our own cord that we came into this earth, and we have that cord that we're leaving out of that, and we have our own. And so staying connected, we all have that cord, so stay connected to that place, that realm, because then that's that spoke that connects you to the Creator in our daily walk.
Absolutely. I talk about this almost, actually, every morning, when I do my meditation, and it's simply the philosophy of, the hollow bones, and, allowing that flow, that beautiful flow, that current to, again, just flow through, and really being, open, open with that. And actually, there's a question here. Maybe we'll get to that question in a little bit, but again, the hollow bones, directly, the hollow bones begins at the center of the universe. that's, like it doesn't begin like 6 feet from here. It doesn't begin,
Right.
10,000 feet from here. It really begins, at the center of, universe. And again, allowing that great love, that great kindness, that divine energy, everything that we need to, one, for life, and two, to really celebrate that life, and three, really connect to 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 all things good, to really, celebrate that life. And actually, there was a question. Do you mind? Yeah, if
Yeah,
there's
go ahead. Go ahead.
So there was a thing
I
about
missed it.
something about actually someone just kind of texted me. I'm actually
Okay.
kind of watching on the phone here. I'm watching myself. So someone texted me a question about being a seer and kind of being like an empath, and like how does that how does that all relate, and you kind of touched upon it too about what like mediumship, they said mediumship and that kind of thing. How does that, kind of relate to the conversation? And it absolutely does. We're talking about growth, connection, awakening, as New Agers say, a higher consciousness, kind of thing, and like it's a gift, obviously. So some people have it now, some people have more of it, kind of thing. But what I'm hearing, what I'm understanding, that is really just evolution. As Rachel was saying before about having that let's say telepathy between the two, understanding that conversation. Like even words, even thoughts are, energy type thing. We as Indigenous, we already know that, and now it's just science is really just kind of catching up to, hey, it is energy, everything's energy kind of thing, was something that we know, that our ancestors know, and right now we're really trying to really remember that. But there's so many circumstances and distractions out there that we're really unfocused, unhoned spiritual beings right now, and we really don't even understand how powerful that we can be. That's I think that's the real fear out there. It's not that I think Marianne Williamson said that, it's, we're powerful beyond measure, and we are very scared of that type thing. I think she hit it right on the head. And that's it. Thank you to that beautiful grandmother, for bringing that up. I think we as humans, we have so much untapped power and really potential to really even see that. And there's a few of us really on the cusp of now really understanding that. There's not enough of us out there.
Right.
But there's a few of us out there that really that really hear those things, really hear those conversations. And this is not some far out thing like, oh yeah, listen to the wind type thing.
Right.
Some like some sort of like kind of like woo thing. It's really it's us becoming a part of that natural flow. And once we become part of that natural flow, then what is weird now will begin to become, as we would say, consciously normalized type thing. Constantly like constantly living in that flow. Whereas now there's only a couple of us really, hey, yeah, there's something going on, that kind of thing. It's really kind of like, but now it's really, so that's a whole new conversation too. It's just to really to really tap into that. Tap into that consciousness, that greater consciousness, as some circles would say, but really it's that greater love, that greater power, that greater understanding, again, that greater connection too.
Well, that's a good place to stop. We're right at our time over here. So we got some good, I took some notes here of things.
Oh my God.
So
You did?
we have some good topics that we're going to talk on. So we're going to stay tuned because we're going to do some topics on daily ceremony. So going more in depth of like what is that daily ceremony, and how do you take that ceremony to your daily life to, live in the world that we're in, and so that you can be in this spiritual connection with yourself. And then I want to do another one with you, going more in top of empaths, and going more in depth of empath, and then, learning even to and how to connect, or even you may not even know that you are an empath, but there's tools and there's things that could open your mind that we could help and share with you that would, open that, so that you can recognize and say, oh, that is what that is. Oh, that's what I'm feeling. Oh, that's why I feel these emotions when I'm around this person, or there's all these things. So that we'll go into that one. And then I want to talk about too is power of our thoughts, because that is a huge one, especially being a cancer survivor. I have a whole thing that I could talk with that, because I experienced people's thoughts and being able to hear their thoughts very intensely when I was on my deathbed, and when I was in my stage 4 cancer. And so it was interesting, because I heard both good prayers and bad prayers, and just it's interesting on the thoughts. So I want to go deeper into that, because I think that's a huge one that people don't really understand energetically, the power of our words. And so that's a huge thing that I want to do on. And then the other one that I finish with is the greater consciousness.
Wow.
Yep. So those are some topics, you guys. So stay tuned, because this is where we're heading down. We're going to start going and opening up this, this realm, and talking on these things, because it's time. And I've been ready. I've been waiting for someone to speak with, and that's on this level with me too, that understands that we can go back and forth. So it's an honor to be here with you, brother, and sharing our messages, and sharing, the ancestors and the ancient wisdom of the universe. I will say is that. So everyone, thank you, Oos. Thank you for being on today and joining us, and stay tuned for next week. And you have a beautiful day, and blessings to you all. Thank you for watching. Oos.
Thank you.